A debate over the rights of property owners restricting access to public lands has escalated in recent years in Idaho. One of the main reasons is a situation born out of a pair of wealthy brothers from Texas who bought up hundreds of miles of private land all across the Gem State and in some areas sealed off roads used to access state and federal land. Our Morgan Boydston sheds light on the scope of what's happening and who's affected.
Sweeping views of valleys, meadows, mountains, towering pines, the smell of fresh, brisk mountain air.
You can see this forever, and it's just beautiful country.
Explorers come to Idaho's wilderness to escape.
We have it all here in Idaho, and I think people really embrace that.
When I am up hunting or fishing somewhere out, either in the desert or up in the mountains, honestly, the first word that comes to my mind is freedom.
Freedom to roam.
We've been riding this area probably for 20 years.
For Steve Huffman and other ATV enthusiasts,
Yeah, you're in your element. You're in your element.
Forest System Road 374, known as Boise Ridge Road, and the destinations beyond are that escape.
Yeah, that's one of those things you can't describe unless you experience it.
But recently, Huffman and other recreationists ran into obstacles.
Well, I was frustrated.
Bright orange ones, carrying serious trespassing consequences should you ignore them.
Basically, we've had access to it for so many years, and now we're not going to have it. I mean, that's the major frustration.
Although this land surrounded by the Boise National Forest has been private for decades, previous owners like Boise Cascade and Potlatch let everyone use it. But the new owners aren't open to a free-for-all, prompting gates on portions of their nearly 200,000 acres in Boise, Valley, Adams, and Idaho counties.
They have gates on probably every place that they have seen major activity.
For decades, Idahoans have used this popular Forest Service road, Boise Ridge Road, to get across Boise County, to get to their favorite hunting spots or to recreate. But recently, DF Development put up these bright orange gates here and on the other side of their property closer to Bogus Basin, as well as no trespassing signs, blocking several miles on this road and thousands of acres of previously accessible private property.
That's fine, they can do whatever they want with that land, but they have closed down a road that has been public.
Boise County is looking into it,
I understand their right to put no trespassing on the property,
but says public dollars were used to build and at times maintain this road, so officials believe it should stay open. This, the latest contention with DF Development, a company largely owned by Texas billionaires Dan and Farris Wilks. In one fell swoop in 2016, the Wilks scooped up about 170,000 acres of private timberland in Boise, Adams, and Valley counties from Southern Pine Plantation, which bought the land from Potlatch.
I believe that the previous owners didn't take care of the land.
In talking with the Wilks brothers, they talked about the abuse on the landscape by people camping on it, leaving their trash, cutting trees.
Real estate listings show Wilks Ranch brokers are now selling massive chunks for millions. I spoke with DF Development head Justin Wilkes over the phone. He tells me they're sitting on the rest, managing the forests, harvesting timber responsibly, and holding land as their legacy.
They're smart investors. There's a reason they have as much money as they have right now.
As the largest private property owners in Boise County, they own almost 32,000 private acres. North and Valley County, DF Development has more than 58,500 acres. In Adams, nearly 61,000 acres. And in Idaho County, DFD has 650 acres, and another Wilks business owns 42,000. Proving problematic.
Private, public, state land, it's all checkerboarded.
DFD property is surrounded by state and federal lands.
There's a lot of people who want to access it.
And now, access to public lands through some of their private property is blocked.
When you start talking about public lands, people get very passionate. Public lands in Idaho contribute to our quality of life.
It provides so many opportunities, and it's a great economic benefit to our state.
Wilkes says with millions of acres of public land across Idaho, there are other routes to reach it.
It's the old adage, your resistance to change, or you always went there, so you felt like you had the ability to go there all the time.
On their locked land, DFD is working out agreements and partnerships with different agencies, allowing certain access through.
They want to, understand what the community needs are.
Like in Valley County. Recently, the county bought DFD land to keep areas open.
They're willing to listen and discuss how things could work for them in Valley County, including trails or access to the public.
Wilkes says their intent isn't malicious.
They're not doing this because they hate Idahoans or something like that, but I think it comes down to this term called sense of place.
They want to be good neighbors and partners, what county leaders desire too.
We'll help you if you'll help us.
We want to work together. We want to find the places we can find common ground.
As do outdoor enthusiasts like Huffman.
Hopefully in the near future, we will have some kind of agreement that we can use that section again.
Morgan Boydston, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Now, Idaho's controversial new trespass law passed this year. Some argue it muddied the waters. The law created harsher penalties for criminal and civil trespassing, while really easing up on landowners' requirements to post their property. The Wilkses and their lobbyists were huge supporters of passing this law this past legislative session. No doubt lawmakers will take a close look at this coming up in the next legislative session.